At this point, chat, I'm pretty confident that I'm the #1 SA Coin Dungeon Milker because we are back with another new team. This time, the Angels are finally getting some decent recognition. When was the last time you've seen them using anything outside of Nidhogg? Okay, hint, nowhere else. If you see them anywhere else, they're probably just coping, right? So this is going to be the team. Very unique team. First slot, Meliliz, main DPS. We don't need to talk about them. They're the festival, they're the hype, they're what's popping right now, okay? Green Ludo. My guy. When was the last time you seen him using anything? Another hint. Never. Okay. Sleeper. Passive. Increases goddess allies attack related stats by 7%. Dope. Flat 7% attack related buff. What could be better than that? Red Sariel. Brand spanking new, but this clause right here is actually goated and slept on. When a goddess ally doesn't take damage from an enemy's skills during the enemy's turn, their attack increases by 8% for 40% for increases by 40% for 2 turns. Now, you're probably thinking that's not going to work, but we're going to touch on that. We're going to see why that works later. Alad passive. Basic stats to goddess allies by 5% for every goddess ally on the battlefield. That's 15% buff to all goddess allies. And then, she can provide an additional damage dealt per buff applied to goddess allies, but that's not going to apply to us. It could apply to you if you aren't running Green Ludo and you want to run the LR Ludo, because she can still buff you guys up. So you're going to get a damage dealt from a lap. You're going to get this damage dealt from the Breath of Bless. And then you're going to get an extra basic stats from her passive. But the only thing with that is you have to spend time using an extra card. So it's actually slower than this team because this team is still faster. Now, again, if you've seen any of the other videos, you know that we're going to have to do common gear on the middle and bottom rows. Make everybody naked that's on the field. And that is also going to include their outfits, because of the enemy's defense and HP scaling with our own. So we're going to make sure we're going to clear all that out. We are set up, and the card set's obviously going to be the goddess set with attack food, and that is the setup. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. So we are finally letting the Angels shine. That is just so poetic, is it not? We're going to go ahead and take a look at Meliliz's stats, right? Kind of do what we do. Stat check. 52.9. That's pretty high. Okay, that's really up there. The bug's defense and HP is lowered. You can't see that here, but we know that it is. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talent buff. We're going to AoE with Meliliz, and we're going to double lock. We're going to hit a clean 1.82, and we got a box, which means we don't have to reset. If you don't get a box, make sure you reset. Maximize the amount of coins you get. Now, what I noticed last time around is that we get the talent buff back. It gets reset, and you get Sariel's attack buff. So now I can talent buff. I get a plus 40% to my attack. I get the plus 20% of Blade of Judgment for the Light of Darkness shield dropping. Then I get the damage dealt increase right back. And with all that stacked together, you will one-tap the Copper Demon 1.36 million, and he doesn't miss a crit. That is absolutely insane. Now, I will say it's probably like a second slower than Escanor, than that team that we did in the past, just because you have to talent buff twice, and that's probably equivalent of using an extra card. But this is insanely fast still, regardless. It's definitely second fastest, hands down. Now, why does this work? So, I'm theorizing that it's because of a phase shift. Now, this dungeon obviously isn't broken up into phases, but the game still recognizes them getting a turn when the teams are swapping, right? So I'm not taking damage on the enemy's turn. And now, because of that, Sariel buff kicks in. And this is a plus 40% to my attack stat, which is relative to Donna Liz because the relic is 50%, and we know we don't need it. So that 10% is just negligible because we are one-tapping anyways. Now, the other thing is, because you get the talent buff back, I'm guessing the game is seeing that as some kind of, like, soft reset for the skills used, or for its timer, because it's normally a 3-turn cooldown. So you get, like I said, the, 20% attack-related buff for the shield dropping off of Phase 1. And you get the damage dealt increase right back from putting the shield back up in Phase 2. It's just, it's so much attack. Ooh, we got a gold box. Make up for not getting one last turn. Last run. And I mean, this is insanely consistent, right? The damage variance is not even that high. You're critting on everything. And it's just Meliliz's cards. so you don't have to worry about RNG, card RNG. The stats are just so incredibly high, you always crit. I don't think I've had a run where he didn't crit. And I mean, that's pretty much, that's it, right? That's just absolutely insane to me. Didn't think the Angels would actually get this far. But I guess there's hope, potentially, for their PvP team in the future, right? So that is going to be it. If you guys like, drop a thumb, maybe sub if you're into that, and I'll see you in the next one.